I can't. It's not far enough. She gave me her moose, and it dropped into the cord, my mic, my thing cord, and its 2 feet are hooked in, and it's staring up at me.
Wait, the moose or the
The
cat?
the moose.
Oh, at least you got it loose. Hey, that moose. Oh, there she goes. You can hear those claws on the floor.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Man, a couple weeks ago, you were saying, like, new country, new job, and all this stuff, and you're like, just making myself available, just making sure that I'm that reliable guy. People are
Mm-hmm.
coming to you for all this stuff,
Yep.
and I'm like, yeah, I guess I could do this at this job that I don't like right now, but I just don't feel like doing it because I just don't like the job. But if
Yeah.
I was in a new country and everything had changed, it's like, oh yeah, this is it. Like that's when you become that person. That's when you
Yeah.
become that
Yeah. It is.
asset.
Sure.
And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Should I step it up or should I be like, no, man, you didn't give me the pay that I negotiated, so you know.
Yeah, that's an individual call. My philosophy on that is that it's just karma. Like you do good and good happens.
Hmm,
That's about it.
man.
I'm not really doing this for the money. The money's nice, it helps, but it's not why.
Yeah.
I'm doing this as a process. Like I'm going all in so that I can set myself up for success later.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah.
not for now.
Yeah, my family friend, entrepreneur fella, quite wealthy these days. He gave me some advice before I joined the workforce. He's like, make yourself reliable. Doesn't matter what the
Hmm.
job is, flipping
Yeah.
burgers, whatever it
Yep.
is.
Yep.
Make sure that you're the one that they see as like the one that shows up on time, the one that's like, oh
Hmm.
no, I'll take care of that and
Yep.
doing all
Never late.
this.
Never
And
late, always early, always
that's
volunteering.
so
Just say
important.
yes. Yeah.
That first one, never late. That
Yeah.
punctuality is just like it's
Hmm.
something that you never really talk about, but they internalize it and
Yep.
they just default to you when
Yeah.
that's your something that you do.
Yeah. I don't take days off ever. I don't get, even when I'm sick, I'm there. I'm
Same.
lucky I've got a pretty good, healthy immune system. So I
Yeah.
don't want, even when I do get bad sick, it's not that bad. I'm still able to go into work. So yeah,
Yeah. Last time
I
I
don't
took
take
time
sick
off
days
was
at all.
COVID because I got COVID and they required me to do
Yeah.
it. Otherwise,
Same, same.
I would have been in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
COVID's just a bad flu.
Yeah. Even
If you're healthy,
I
if you're
had I
healthy.
had the two shots and I still got it and then
Yeah. We all did.
it was bad
It
for
was,
12 hours, but
yep.
anyway, hey
Exactly.
dude, we're on the internet.
Excellent. We're on the internet. Welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast about Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. I
Mm-hmm.
am Ben in Chiang Mai, Thailand.
I am Tim in Taichung, Taiwan.
Yay, and we're Critters in Taiwan.
Both of us.
Yep. Cool, man.
um,
Um, this was the last episode of 2024, and it was a good one.
it was good.
It was good. It was very solid. I have some things to say about why it was so solid. We can talk about that in a minute.
Okay, I was gonna say, is this a really good one for you? Man, I barely remember the first half, but I
I got one, two, three things to say about the first half.
was there
And
much
they're
RP?
not even good things to say about it. They're just notes.
Good
It's just
things.
like,
Fuck this episode.
well, it's not like they're bad things. They're just not things. They're only like, oh yeah, this and
Yeah,
this and this and
like
this.
towards the
So
episode or towards the end of the episode, kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, and like as far as I remember, the first half was also basically just okay. There's a little bit of talking, but then battle, right?
Hmm.
Because I listened to the
Hmm.
second half
Skill,
almost twice.
basically the same format that the Mighty Nine and Vox Machina went through, which is skill checks,
Right.
just skill checks. And
To
as
get
they're
to a certain
succeeding,
place.
to get to the point where the narrative can continue. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically that was about all it was. I mean, that's what they're doing.
And the narrative
Um,
also is battle, right?
yeah, it's
Like you.
because the yeah. So should we just get right into this?
Uh, yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go for it.
Might as well.
Yeah, we don't
Oh,
got.
I would like to say one quick thing.
Yeah.
We have two comments from our loyal following.
Oh, wonderful. I was going to ask
Um,
about that.
I I will. Whoops.
Bring them up
Where
right now.
I am. We got our first comment from at CMLT. Comment is the Beacon revenue. I think we were talking about why do they need our money from Beacon. He has a comment is the Beacon revenue probably goes to their crew, CR Foundation, and Sam's ad production cost. Sounds legit. And then we had another comment from at share E-A. 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue. So yeah, thanks for clarifying that. I'm not American. I barely know what numbers mean in things related to USA. So, but thank you for that. We appreciate it.
I'm barely American, but I'll take it.
Mm. Alaskan, you're basically Canadian.
A passport, the country, whatever.
Mm.
Yeah, but appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Well,
Always the comments that we get down there. It's a
we like it.
fun
It,
part
it
of our
should
week.
validates our existence on this stream thing.
Yeah, I mean, every week that we don't have an episode and I don't get to chat with you, I'm just kind of like, oh man, can we just have a phone call?
Mm. Could do that. Yeah, I could do. If I went through all the hours of the day that I'm free. I barely had 5 minutes to talk to my mom the other day. Oh, that was actually her fault. I had more time. She was racing to make sugar cookies,
Mom,
Christmas stuff. Yeah.
mom's and your faults.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Um,
So anyway, hey, listen. This episode is number 117. Race to the Ruidian core.
okay, okay. And as
So,
Ben said, this is the last episode for this year.
and
Cur-
it's gearing up towards being the very last episode of campaign 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I was surprised. Okay, so we talked about this last week. I figured they'd do a couple of episodes of Bell's Hells, but no, they just went straight into like, nope, here we go, and done.
yeah, like
S-
right into that
Scratch my
to
head. Yeah.
the race to the Ruidian core.
Yeah.
That's what you just said, right?
Hmm.
And it's December 17th at the moment that we're doing this right now.
Yes. Yes.
And that's, so we get the rest of this month and then
So they're doing.
They're gonna-
They're said that they're back on the 2nd of January. So they're
Oh.
they're back right away into
Oh,
the new
okay.
year.
I was going to
Yeah.
say like they might be back like a week after. I mean,
No, no, they said they'd be back the first Thursday of January. So right after New Year. So December or January 2nd.
it's
Kind of
kinda
cool.
funny. It makes it sound like Burning Man is a little bit more important than New Year's, Which to me, like New Year's is one of the biggest holidays because everybody goes out, has a good time, there's good
Right.
music, and
Right.
everybody kisses each other and questions whether or not they're gay because that guy slipped into the tongue. And I don't know how your New Year's goes.
Something like that.
And then
Sure.
Thanksgiving because everybody's cooking, and it turns out maybe I'm lucky, but everybody I know knows how to cook, so we have
Mhm,
the
mhm.
best dinner on Thanksgiving. And we do it again with the band for Bandsmas, but
Right, right,
that'll
right.
actually be after we come back. But then Burning Man's like, nope, we're gonna be off for at least
Yeah,
a week.
for like 2 weeks. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, gone 10 days, gone.
But
So yeah, this episode brought to you by I don't know.
What are you doing?
These kids, I don't know what I'm doing. No, I wanted to say something right off the hop because if we're going to
Sure.
start talking about it,
Yeah.
the first half when Matt brought out those 2 clocks, little paper pieces of paper,
Yeah.
and he dropped
That's when
them
I
on
sent
the
you that
DM
message.
screen.
Matthew's stepping it up.
Yeah, that brought me back all the way back to being in high school, playing after class, after school, taking the late bus home, playing D&D when my old DM used to do shit like that. Super old school D&D trick, and I loved it. And they didn't know, right? He wasn't clear. He's like, no, there's 2 clocks. One is doing this, and the other's doing that. And then he starts shading them in a different. And they picked up on it very quickly, which one was good and which one was bad. Meta shit like that always happens, but there was a moment when there was some panic going on. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It brought me back to antagonistic DMs that made life very stressful playing D&D.
Yeah, but in a good way. You got your video games with their timers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's
Yep.
you kind of dread going back if you're gonna play that video game again. But you do
100%.
always remember that part, and you're like, oh shit. Like number one, I don't think anybody actually likes it, but the timer on the dam on that Ninja Turtles game, you remember that?
Yes, I do.
It's
Oh
like,
God, I
it
hated
was-
that. I spent
Everybody
so
quit.
many quarters on that game at the mall, man. I'd go to the mall and spend hours pumping quarters into that machine.
Memorable. I quit
Yeah.
at that point, and then just
Yep.
as soon as the internet became something, I started just watching other people do it.
Yep.
I was a little bit. This one of the things I was going to say because of that message I sent you. So he's got these 2 things. It's like if enough time passes, this might change and this might change. And I'm like, okay, Matthew, but are you going to be present? The thing is, he didn't He
Mm,
didn't need to be as present as normal episodes because this was actually more
right.
important. So it worked out.
Yes.
So he's listening to
Yep.
them, waiting for them to make decisions. Then he's like, okay, you know,
And this side.
yeah.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
this was the focus, and he's just waiting for them to
Mm-hmm.
do it, and then okay, now we're in battle,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
then
there's
so
now
on.
there. Here's the skill check. Here's all the things. Trying again to drain resources before the final battle.
Right.
Right. That's the challenge as a DM is you don't want them going in there full strength. Because fifth edition, the mechanics are set are always the against. It's not like Vegas. It's the opposite of Vegas. The odds are in the player's favor. That's not the house. The house isn't always going to win.
You got to find creative ways to
It's
take
long
that
run.
away. Typically, it's drain their spell slots and their
Yep,
etc.
that's the big one. Yeah.
He's like, they're not going to have a thing. I know a couple of times. I think it was Laudna. Jeez, no, this will come up if maybe with rollies perhaps.
Should we do that?
Let's dive into
Let's
rollies.
dive into rollies. All right,
Alrighty.
here we go.
Ooh,
Jostling,
starting it
nestling
off
it.
strong with the tiara.
Is that a book?
That's a nat book. Yes, it is.
Okay, I got a 3. I think
what
you.
what a waste. Well, then I'll just say the thing I was about to say. I believe it was Laudna saying that like there were two times I'm kind of getting them mixed up perhaps. Um, at one point there was something she was doing for Liliana Tumult, and it was like, oh, I'll just make it level 3 instead of level 4. And it's like, oh, it's just your mom. I think
Oh,
Travis
that was
quipped.
a yeah. What did she do there? That was she was setting up. Oh, geez, I don't remember, but I do remember that. That was in the middle of the combat. Yeah,
It was
she was,
pretty
but it
early
did
on in the
it.
second half, yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't have actually made any difference. I think in what she was doing. It was
It,
setting
it
up.
didn't seem to, but like
No,
saving that fourth level spell or fourth level slot for whatever might come later.
a splot. I like that. A fourth level splot. Spell slot. Splot. I like it.
We know you're listening. Incorporate it.
Hmm.
Geez, that was the prelude. What was I going to say after that? Oh yeah, and then I don't know if it was the same time, but then she cast disintegrate.
That was right at the end. Yeah.
Where, at what level do you get disintegrate? They're not
7.
7.
Yeah.
Wait, it's a seventh level spell, or you get it at level
Yes.
7?
7 level spell. It's a 7th level spell.
When do you get 7 level spells?
Like right now. They just did. So they
Okay,
all have like
that's why we've
one
never
7th
seen it.
level. Right.
Okay,
They all have all this casters, the pure casters. So you wouldn't see it with Fern. You wouldn't see it with uh yeah, where would she have got it from?
is it
What?
sorcerer or is it
She's she's a multi-class warlock
yeah, warlock? That's
spellcaster,
the other one.
warlock sorcerer.
But it's got to be sorcerer, right?
It's
Sorcerers are
got
the
to be a
ones that get
7th
that.
level spell it's a very good question. I don't know. I could very quickly
Get in touch. Get in touch.
disintegrate. Uh, fifth
And
edition.
as they said, which I didn't pick up in past uses of the spell, it's hit or miss, right? If they make their
Oh yeah,
save,
no, it's
it just
a high
doesn't
risk,
work.
low. It's a high risk spell, high risk, high reward.
Hmm.
It is a 6th level spell.
Hmm.
Yeah, not a 7th, 6th. So they would. So let's see. Sorcerers get. Oh wait, I wanted to look that. Wait, hang on a second. Disintegrate is a. I don't know how she would have got it because it's very. It is a sorcerer and wizard spell. So there we go. So both sorcerers and wizards get it. So let's look up sorcerers. Sorcerer 5e and see when sorcerers get 6th level spells. Isn't
Hmm.
Google great? So it's like it's basically if they make their deck save, it's nothing, and if they fail, it's everything. So
Right.
it's a high 6th level. They get
So it was like
6. Oh, they get 6.
6d10 plus 40, I believe, at the level she cast it.
They get 6th level spells at 11. So she would have just
Oh.
got it because I think she's got like 4 or 5 levels
Oh,
of
right, because she's multiclass,
warlock.
right?
Yeah. So a lot of Imogen's spell have been reflavored. So she might not have even chosen disintegrate. She might have chosen other things,
Hmm.
and that's why we wouldn't see it from her. And then we could we'd see it. We haven't seen it. We also saw Dorian's. We've seen Dorian's 7th level spell, which is the Force Cage. Might be a 6th level spell as well.
Quite late on the
At
episode.
the end. So yeah, quite late on.
We were
I'm
dropping
gonna
frames like a motherfucker. It shouldn't affect the recording, but it does affect the live, which.
oh
Huh.
yeah, well, whatever. It is what it is. I didn't notice anything. I notice every once in a while it flickers.
That's pretty standard
And
for us,
sometimes
though.
it yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I don't watch what we do, so I have no idea. I will yes and you
Okay.
with the bigger picture
I think we're back. I think we're good.
Okay. Oh yes, and then with a bigger picture thing about what you were talking about hair casting that spell, and just in general, the combat, which was the whole second half, basically, how smooth it was. This might have been the smoothest, most well executed Bell's Hells combat ever. And I'm going to what's the word I'm looking for?
Asterisk?
Scratch that up to. I don't know what the right word,
Okay.
what the word for it is. I'm gonna chalk that up. That's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna chalk that up to them playing Vox Machina for big time, and then nine big time, and then they were in the right mode.
Right.
Bell's Hells are terrible at combat. They never do well. They're all over the place. They do weird things to each other, and
they're ne'er-do-wells.
it never works out well. Combat is always very chaotic. And
I didn't notice that, probably
crappy.
because it went so smoothly.
Right. It was super smooth because they were well practiced from playing well as heroes together for level 20s. Yeah. Suddenly they were like, oh yeah, they're still in that mode. So that's all I really want to say about that. It was noticeable a lot how well they played together.
Jeez, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to go back and watch again, but yeah, I didn't notice how smooth it was going because it was like when it's a well-oiled machine, you don't have to fix anything. Yeah, it's fine.
They set themselves up well. They were bamfing all over the place. They were putting themselves into good positions and then setting up area of effects in really good ways. And there was a lot of really, really, really well thought out stuff. Huh. Ashton played the barbarian well. Again, he's trying to play offensive, which isn't a good move for. He always has. This was something I've commented on many, many times. Taliesin plays Ashton as a very offensive barbarian, which isn't smart, unless you're a berserker. But he's not. He's some weird homebrew thing. So he's a dunamantic barbarian.
Certainly a dude.
Yeah, whatever they call it. But the Grog did so much damage because he was a berserker. Yep. And they're designed to just be damage. But Yasha was never about damage. It was all about splitting between good damage and really good defense. So that's it's a good tank thing. It's not Grog was not a very good tank. He was just a really, really good smash. Hulk smash.
Huh. You know how like
anyway, just a note. It was just a general note. They all played really, really well, and that's I think.
Yeah. Like what they at least used to say, like a really good comedian makes you think you could do it too.
Yeah.
You see them on stage and it's like, dude, I could have thought of that, but did you? Like really 100%. Good musicians, they're just like, oh, I could do that. It's like, but did you write it? So maybe that's why I didn't notice, because they were just flying through, and I'm like, oh, this is nice and easy, and it's coasting really well.
Yep.
Huh, Good on you guys.
Sir.
Well done.
Yeah.
Huh. Rollies again.
Rollies.
Let's do it.
Ooh, 16.
12.
All right.
Certainly right.
I mean, there was a lot of. I wrote one of my notes from the first part was so many nat 20s. I actually wanted to take a quick look. I had the Omen archive up here.
I was going to say somebody took up crit roll stats, right?
Yeah, no, Omen archive.
That's okay.
They did, but here we go.
So many. And Orem had a lot of ones. He was like, "That's a one. I'll re-roll that."
Yes,
it was like a
and they rolled it. He rolled a double one again. One re-roll one. There's no. They don't have the. They just have the stamps. They don't have the stats yet. But there was a lot. They have all the stats for 16, but no stats for
too soon.
Set 117. It's too soon. Yeah. They usually get it up Tuesday or Wednesday, so I would have thought they had it up by now, but they don't. Anyway, Omen Archive has all the stats. That's the one to go to, but they don't have it for this. There's a lot of a lot of nat 20s. But what I really wanted to talk about was so I have my notes for the first half. So many nat 20s, skill challenges eating up resources, and then the My Seat community. This
Oh,
one
that's
made me
right. That
smile.
was in the first
There was a
half.
it was in the first half. This was a lot of fun stuff going on. And I was yelling the whole time. I'm like, use the seed. Where's the seed? Where's the Alma? And then they finally brought it up. And I was like, okay, good. Now they're going to do it.
Right,
What was your
remind me.
the all mines burn seed that they got from in Bassaris, where Ashton went into the little community and talked to Jesse, the bird creature thing that was all creepy, and then they went down into the cavern
Right.
and
Okay.
they
Yep.
talked to the big hive mind sort of thing, and it gave them a seed to bring
Oh,
to the moon.
yep. Okay. Yeah.
So, what's your take on that? Introducing foreign fauna into a invasive species into a moon.
I mean, you run your risks, right? But how much
Yeah.
does anybody really give a shit about it? I mean,
Yep.
are they
Also
okay
that.
with destroying this moon? And like, without getting too physical
Is
about
it
it.
is it going to destroy the? Are they going to destroy the moon?
Well, I mean, like, okay, so something goes extinct on Earth, it affects
Hmm.
everything, right? It affects the
Yep.
world
Oh yeah.
ecosystem, right?
Yep. Yep.
It gets fucked up on the moon. Does it fuck up that much? I mean,
I don't know.
how long is that? How long is that ecosystem, that the moon-wide ecosystem, been around?
Thousands of years.
Yeah, is that enough to really affect
I
a
don't know.
lot, or
I mean, if
how much of their organisms are invasive species? Is what
you know,
is
they
kind of what I'm getting at.
right. So we know that basically, like the Vidalch and all the other things are all they've been created, right? They've
Indulge.
been they've been making those things, the weave mind and the rest of the thought eaters and all that. They've been manipulating, so they've created these things.
Yeah,
So the mycetes,
kind of
assuming
fucked up, you
assuming
know,
suit, yeah, sure.
in
So
earthly
if
terms.
if something comes now, spoilers, the weave mind is gone, so there's a power vacuum, so the mycetes are probably just going to be left on their own now,
Oh, jeez, yeah.
and who knows what that means. What does that happen now that they're linked with this seed thing? It brought to my mind, did you watch Star Trek Discovery?
No.
Okay. So the Star Trek Discovery was the vessel, a science research vessel that had a prototype engine, which was uh, a what did they call it? God damn it! It was a mycelium-driven engine that was able to. There was a mycelium network throughout the entire universe,
Is that a
and it was
tie-in?
able to basically teleport through the mycelium network. The spore drive, they called it, was able to use mycelium to basically teleport anywhere in the universe instantaneously.
Wow.
Really, really cool concept. That's what it made me think about. It made me think about, okay, are they now going to be able to communicate via some other telepathic way in with with on Exandria and on Ruidus and parts in between? I don't know.
And
Very curious.
the way they
I love
communicate,
Liam's.
it's like they're not speaking, but you
Yeah.
get the feeling that they have this idea, right? They were
Yes. Right.
getting
Colors,
answers.
colors, shapes,
Yeah.
emotions, sort of different things. But they did directly communicate with the All Minds burn in Bassaris.
Hmm.
So does that suddenly give if these two things join together and there's some weird little hybrid that comes out of that, does that mean that they can get more intelligence, higher consciousness?
They
What
also
happened?
directly responded to them speaking to
Mm-hmm.
them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though they
Mm-hmm.
couldn't speak back, but they could give them ideas.
That's
Um,
right.
did you put together the fact that it's mycelium and these are mycetes?
Oh yeah, of course. That's where the name
Okay.
comes from. Yeah,
So that's a
yeah, yeah.
direct, just
Directly,
that's
100%.
straight from Star Trek. 'Cause I don't know.
No, 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 no. Mycelium is what the is. That's mycelium is
Oh,
the
this is in
rhizome.
our
That's the
world.
rhizomes of in. That's actually that's Earth. That's us.
Oh,
Mycelium are mushrooms.
Grade
Like
10 is coming back.
there we go. Mycelium is what fungal networks create. They create a mycelium network in rotting objects. The rhizomes that go out, those are called mycelium. The
Take your notes, folks.
mushrooms that pop up are the fruiting bodies of the mycelium. That's
Oh,
yeah.
I see. So it's like the
Yep.
network of the fungus. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, hey, here's some.
the majority of fungi, the majority of fungi is mycelium, and then they grows all over the place, and then it pops up little fruit that are mushrooms.
Hmm,
Yep.
a lot of quote marks on that one.
Mm,
They touched on it on the Last of Us show, not in the
yeah.
game. They
Yeah.
touched on the show, like they could actually communicate through
Right.
mycelium, I
Right.
guess.
Which is based on actual science because mushrooms or fungi do communicate with each other. There is some weird little chemical communication stuff that's happening with in between like there's been some really cool studies that show when trees are in a forest, when trees are lacking of nutrients, fungi will mycelium networks will actually bring nutrients from a nutrient dense place and send it to that tree that is actually in need to keep the ecosystem sort of in balance. It's pretty cool stuff. So there's some weird kind of forms of very basic forms of communication coming there that exist on Earth, and that's what Matt is using for D&D, for Exandria and Ruidus now. So extraplanetary. Moon. What do you call it between a moon and a planet?
Extraterrestrial?
Yeah, sure. Extraterrestrial. Do you know the word terrestrial comes from terra, which is the actual name for Earth? So
Yeah.
it's like extra exandrial.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
I don't know what that actually would be, but yeah, sure.
I think you nailed it.
It's D&D. Let's not. We don't need to anthropomorphize everything.
Wait, but there's two
So
X's in there. Extra exandrial? Why don't we just call it exandrial? No, that
and there
doesn't
we
work.
go. No,
Because
because
that
it has
just
to be
makes
extra.
that just
Yeah,
means
it
be
has to be
terrestrial for exandria.
extra exandrastrial.
Too many
Nope.
X's. I don't like it.
Way too many is in there.
Matthew, we know
Hey,
you're
but anyway,
watching.
that's
Fix it.
yeah, that's the thing. So like with I don't know what's gonna happen, but I
Introducing the
loved
seed.
Liam's comment. Yeah. I loved Liam's comment about that. We'll meet them in campaign 5.
Well, what do you what? Oh,
Yeah.
get 5.
Yeah.
Give him time to germinate,
Right. Give them time to flourish and do whatever they need to do, and then it's going to be a being that they'll meet in campaign 5.
and
So
they'll take over, and then
it tracks. It's pretty accurate.
be
I
a
think,
hive
I
mind,
feel.
kind of like Mass Effect 3 with the Geth. It's
Mm,
like,
hmm
okay, we came to consensus. It's like, dude, that was
Right.
just 2 seconds. You're like, that's what we do, man.
Yeah. Borg shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I mean, hopefully we get to campaign 5. I
Yeah.
mean,
We'll see.
I don't want this thing to end, but I mean, there's so many theories going out there. We've talked
Yeah.
about a few.
Yep. Passing the torch. We'll see. Something will.
Um,
I wouldn't. I honestly am of two minds about it because I think that they deserve a break. I don't want them to take a break, but I think they deserve one, and I'd appreciate them if they took a campaign off, not walked away, took a campaign off, and then came back for campaign 5. That'd be all right. I'd be okay with it. I really would be.
and if they wanted to, I mean, are they tired? They have so much work these days. I've been watching game ranks. I always want to call it gamer anks, just because that's what it looks like on YouTube, because it comes up because I'm a gamer and I listen to it, and I'm listening to their little things. They always have these lists of like 10 games from 2022 that you should revisit. Just a bunch of whatever.
Yeah.
It's lists, so it's engaging.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
time and time again, I'll hear somebody from Critical Role on that cast. And these are new games from like 2020 to now.
They're still
They're
working. We know
everywhere.
that. Yeah, they're everywhere. They're
Yeah.
doing now they're doing their they've got Legend of Vox Machina next season 4 is coming out, and then they've got their Mighty Nine's greenlit, and then presumably Bell's Hells will get greenlit as well. And
Yeah.
so there's going to be tons of stuff. I mean, and Critical Role Land is still in the works. So who knows what's going to happen,
There's
right?
a video game coming around. It's like this kind of stuff. I mean, these subscriptions is basically kind of what we have. We have a salary that we get paid, right? But you got these actors and these
Right. Right.
comedians and people like that. They don't have a paycheck. They have to go out there and get the work and then do it, and they get this big
Right.
old cash
Right.
cow. That's what they're doing, but they have so much work these days because when Liam O'Brien walks into that room to audition, it's like, oh, dude. I mean, come on, who's not giving him that job for
Hmm.
Soldier 3? You know?
Yeah. He's actually like more of a voice director, voice coach, right?
Yeah,
He does that's more of his role in the whole thing, yeah.
sure, but I still hear his voice in these games.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
I'm driving a scooter, and I'm like, ah, that's Liam. Oh, that's Taliesin. Like I'm
Mm,
hearing Laura everywhere. Laura's really banging it out.
mm.
Um, anyway, yeah. So like, I don't know what their focus would be. Is of course they're going to take work. They've got families, but Critical Role is such a huge fandom. If they take a
Yeah.
break,
Who
how
knows what
much would
it'll
it
actually.
hurt? But for them as families and people taking this extra work, it's like, hey man, I mean we're killing it with money right now, and we got to keep it going. Otherwise,
Yep.
it stops. You got to keep this momentum going. I don't know. So yes, they deserve a break, but I don't really want to see it.
Oh, of course not. We don't, but I'm okay with them taking a break and get some new blood in there and do campaign 4 with somebody else would be kind of cool. Would be cool. Of course I'll watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
Who knows? We'll see.
I've
Um,
got about one or two more that
okay, let's do
are
another one then.
dependent on this die over here.
I'm going into page 2.
Ooh, with an 18.
I got a 19.
Oh,
Buddy.
for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Clearly
All
rigged.
right. So timestamp
Up.
at 3 hours 4 minutes 10 seconds.
Timestamp GIF.
Breas's natural 20 gives 109 points of damage towards
Right.
that. That was the most damage this entire campaign. Yes, by one single character,
I believe
against one
so.
single character. So I know that
but
I know
he's
that.
not a part of the main cast. All right, the main characters.
Yeah, well, isn't he? I mean,
Well, I mean, cast, yes, it's Sam Riegel,
yes,
but
yes. Well, Breas is part
they
of
just
Bell's
found
house.
this guy like a week
Like
ago.
a week ago. Yeah, exactly. But still 100, that natural 20 he played it very, very well. He played it the proper way, where he pumps the divine smite in after the hit,
He
and
asked
that's
many questions like, "What do I
Pat.
really double?" Yeah,
Yeah, what do I do? He did it calm, and thankfully Sam's math is good, so he can actually add things properly without using a calculator and other people. But yeah, 109 points of damage. That's all. That's my whole comment. It's just cool. I like seeing that against a nobody, against like just a dude that was
took
concentrating
him
on
out,
this on
right?
the sphere. Took it. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
bisected him
it was. That's right. Yeah, it was like,
with
oh,
one hit.
wow, half
Yes.
of his body is flying this
Yes.
way. How do you want to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I guess I can yes and on that real quickly because there has been famously Mango Jello, where he had that
Yep.
157 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Archon got the nat 20 and did the thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Big one.
a big hit, obviously,
Yep.
and
Yep.
also I think a higher level than Breas.
Yep. Oh yeah,
Um,
level 20 for sure. Like
and
their own Breas is only level 15, so it could get more.
do we count that all the damage that's done with Fireball? Because that sick
No,
ass
AoEs
move,
don't count.
that doesn't
AoEs don't
count.
count.
Okay,
No, because
that would have been beaten ages ago. Uh oh, we got a freeze.
would like
Oh.
Caleb's disintegrate
Oh, that
on.
wasn't a full freeze.
Oh, okay,
jeez.
good.
We froze and then lost your video, but we're back.
Oh,
So
okay, good.
back up 10 seconds.
Sure. No, fireballs don't count because they're AoEs.
It's like hundreds, right?
Yeah, Caleb did like 420 points of damage with that.
Right.
With the delayed blast fireball and then the fireball and all that. So
Nobody
it doesn't.
says it, But
Yeah,
maybe that's
it's
why
'cause
nobody says it, because it's AoE.
it only does a certain amount of damage to one character, but the fireball does so much to so many characters, you can't really accumulate that all up.
Yeah.
The disintegrate comes close. Like Caleb's disintegrate against Avocado
It was
was
over 100.
it was well over 100. Yeah. No, it might have only been 80 something. I don't remember, but it was big. Paladins are the king.
It wasn't
with
109. With the divine
with a-
smite.
yes.
plop it
Paladins
in
are
there,
the king
double it.
because they've nerfed the smite a little bit for the 2024 rule set. to sort of bring that number. So if they crit, it doesn't go into the hundreds like that.
Right.
They've made it
But I think that's kind of
a little
silly.
bit trickier.
I just kind of like that. 'Cause
I
it's
don't
like,
know.
oh, I did roll a
It
nat 20.
balances everything
Now
out.
I'm going to
Yeah.
pump the smite in there and then double that
Right.
too. It's like, yeah, do that.
Yeah.
I think that's great. That's so
Mhm.
exciting. It's part of the excitement of
Mhm.
rolling a nat 20. You know, as a
I agree.
paladin, you can be like, yeah, I'm going to throw in Divine Smite, and then that gets doubled too. That's so sick.
Yeah, sure.
But
Sure.
they
The
nerfed
point
it.
that's cool when paladins are a one-trick pony, when all they really do is that. But paladins can do a lot more now. So you have to bring that down a little bit to balance out the other cool stuff that they
Oh,
can do.
okay.
There's
I mean,
there's some new smites. There's some new things that Sam was sort of talking about. Some of them that he was doing as a bonus action. He's going to do this kind of smite, and then he's going to do that. And
oh,
so they're more fun things that paladins can do in combat as opposed to just hoping for a nat 20.
oh, I see. Um, I just played in a tournament, tied for first place for
Cool.
cribbage, and
Nice.
people continue to play cribbage. Not for the shit hands where do you play at all? Do you
Oh,
understand the point systems?
I
You're a
100%.
cribber.
I've been playing. Oh yeah.
Oh, because we're only playing for that hand that gets you over 20. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a 29. I've never gotten the max, but I've gotten
No,
24 before.
I've had a 27. That's the
Oh,
highest I've ever got.
it's
Yeah.
so close.
Yep. Yep.
And that's why you
Very
keep
close.
playing, because you want to
Mhm.
get that 29. Like
I've seen a
the highest I had was
29. I saw a
24, 26.
29. I saw a 29 hand at a tournament a million years ago, and when I was living
Imagine
in
that at a
Manitoba.
tournament. That's the best
Yep.
time, dude.
Yep. Somebody screamed, and it came up, and everybody stopped, and everybody froze, and everyone walked over, and it was like, holy shit! There's the 29.
Yeah,
It was
just
the
leave
first time a
there.
lot of people had seen it. Yeah. Everyone was just like, okay,
Social media.
there it
Let's
is.
go.
Oh, this is no, dude. This was in the 90s before the
The
internet.
disposable camera.
Sure, probably was. Um, yeah. Do go totally off topic, I guess, but on cribbage topic.
Hmm.
This is a very controversial thing, but you know the only hand that you cannot get in cribbage is 19, right? There's no possible combination of points that add up to 19.
Okay.
So we would play, this was a house rule. We would play that if your hand, not the crib, if your hand scores 0, you go back 19 points.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah. It was a house rule that we played. I've
Why
tried to
would you do
introduce it into
that?
other things because no, why would you ever get a hand that scores 0?
I've got 2 in the tournament.
It's
In the
almost
same
impossible to do.
game.
You see what it does is it keeps people from being honest. So it keeps people from trying to get
Okay.
those huge hands.
Okay.
So it's like
okay.
if you're setting yourself up for that big crib cut, but
Sacrificing
you're
all the points, get 0
right.
here, but banking on that flip.
Exactly. If you're looking for the cut, if you're playing for the cut and you end up with 0, you go back 19 points
Risk
because the
reward.
19 hand doesn't exist. Exactly. So that was a thing that we played to stop people from fucking around.
Yeah,
Keep
it's
people
also
honest.
just not a good idea to bank on the flip, man. I mean,
Nope.
of course,
No.
like get as many hands. Yeah, we know how to
Yeah.
play.
We do.
I do have to correct that. He got a hand, and it was his crib where. Sorry, no, it was my crib. But he had a hand where he had no points, and
Yeah.
he had to decide. It's like, well, I am banking on that flip. And he
Mhm.
gave me 2 cards, and like it didn't do anything to my crib, but he had 0
Right.
points, and went to the next round. And I had
Yep.
won the same game. So there were 2
Right.
hands in that game where
Okay.
there were no hands in the point. Even after we brought the crib back, and we're like, no,
Mhm.
there's just no points here.
There's nothing there.
Both of
Yeah.
us had that once.
That's
I don't
why
think I've ever
that's why
seen that
we
before.
played when I was a kid. We always played with if you stiff yourself, you stick yourself with a 0, you go back 19 points, like
See,
minus 19.
I would like this if you document what you put into the crib, either yours or the other one.
Yeah.
And if you sacrificed any points at all to try to go for that thing, then yes, fuck you, minus 19.
Right.
You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
fair enough. Yeah, I do, but I think it's 6 and 1, half dozen the other.
We're gonna have to play some
bye-bye,
That
dice.
sounds fun.
My
Uh-oh.
my 20 just disappeared. Be right back.
Oh, watch your headphones. Man, and similar to
Okay. Hey, should we do another? Oh, I think I won that roll, and I think it's your yes and if you want to, or we could just keep going. I was talking about Braze's nat 20, 109 point damage, and I think it's your turn.
Oh, I think my yes and was the AOE.
Oh, okay, sure. Let's roll it.
But real quick, also,
Oh,
I don't remember if you play euchre.
dude, I'm Canadian from Ontario. Of course, I play
Okay,
euchre.
I didn't know that was a thing. Um, I I love euchre. It's my favorite card game. Um,
Hmm.
it's I think the best card game that exists on the earth. And the reason anybody continues to play is to go alone and get the 4 points.
Hmm.
You know,
The other 4 points, yeah.
in the meantime, you do all this other shit. You lose games, you win games,
Hmm.
whatever. But you
Hmm.
just play to get that thing right there. And somehow that ties into getting 109, 150 something
Well,
points of
it's high. It's
damage.
yeah, sure,
That's
sure.
how you keep playing. It ties in somehow. We got on this
Hmm.
tangent. I don't remember how it went. Anyway, I think I got one more rolly in me as far as
Okay. I think I've got
mental
one more
notes.
as well, so we could definitely
All right, I'm kind of hoping I don't win this one because I got to think about this for a second. Oh fuck!
4.
I got a net 20 again.
You're
Oh
up.
no, I have one. I do have one. Shit.
Okay, go.
I was a little disappointed with the state of Imogen's mom
Okay.
because like 3 episodes ago
Hmm.
wasn't she was like Imogen, right? Like she was like
Yep.
shouting to her like in her head,
Hmm.
and then she was somehow saw that she was. I don't know when that came about. Where she saw that part of her was starting to go away.
It's starting to fade away, and they got a
Like, I think it was
glimpse
her
of.
feet like crumbling
Her,
away or
yep.
something.
Yep.
Was it that three
He's
episodes ago?
yes, it was.
Okay,
No, it was like 5 episodes ago. It was
it was
before Vox
before Vox
Machina and
Machina. Yeah,
before. Yeah, it was right before Vox Machina. It was right before. It was yeah before they came in. They did 2 episodes. Mighty Nine did 2 episodes, and then these guys did one.
right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so yeah, it was the last time that they
Hmm.
and Matthew left it. Uh, at
That
that,
was the cliffhanger. Yeah. Yep.
yeah, and I was like, oh shit! Like, I mean, this is the end of her. I mean, it's
Hmm.
the quintessence of Ray
The new
says,
one. The new one.
well, that's the one that
Oh, sorry.
Ludinus has.
Yeah,
But
we
the one
don't know
that
what
they
the
have, they said
says 1 hour.
it takes a certain amount of time. Yeah.
They get all of the abilities right away, and then the creature is consumed in 1 hour, and then more abilities come in.
Okay. So the abilities, my son,
Some of them come
immediately.
right within the first minute. Then more come within 10 minutes, and then more come in 1 hour, and the creature is completely consumed in one
Oh, it's
hour.
that dynamic?
Yeah, something
Oh, I
like that.
missed that.
There's
So
like
like when it's
there's
consumed, you get the
yeah,
final thing. If it's like a
yes,
exultant
yes.
fucking Ruidus born,
Yep.
Jesus. I mean,
A lot. Well, he
that's got to
already
be
used a
insane.
bunch of things, right? Like he used the crush will, which was Liliana's ability, and Ludinus used that. So it was yeah,
It's so funny when sorry Sam, he's like, well, if he succeeds and he completes it, well, he's basically your mom.
yeah, yeah. That got weird very quickly, and Sam was like, "Oh, this is weird. Let's go with it." Hmm.
It was fucking hilarious. It's like,
Hmm.
no, Imogen's got to call Ludinus mom.
Yep, you gotta call it mom. That's your life now.
Anyway, I was like kind of disappointed in the fact that like if you're not aware, there's spoilers everywhere. Um, when they really lucked out and he had no reaction and wasn't able to do anything, and she
Wasn't able to
was
counterspell. Yeah.
like her feet came back. I think at some point he said her fingers were going away, crumbling away, or something. And now all that's
No,
just
he
back
didn't. No,
now.
no, no. He said like she's lost everything.
But
She's lost.
she
Her
said like,
feet
look,
were beginning to crumble and fade away, but that
right.
process is halted. And now he never
Well,
said they're
just
coming. They come back. No,
okay,
he never
okay,
said they came
okay.
back. He said she was when Imogen was holding her, paper thin,
Mm.
white as a ghost. Uh,
Barely feel her touching her.
barely
Yeah,
feel it's cold. Barely feel a heartbeat, and all that the tether gone. So
right.
she's not.
That
She's
Ruidus tether.
presumably not exultant anymore with zero powers,
For a
barely
time, they
alive.
hinted.
We'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see. Yeah, might take a day, might take 24 hours to
that's
come
what
back,
they were
but who
saying.
knows?
Yeah,
Yeah, who
I
knows?
mean, depending on what's going on here with Ludinus in that little
I
cage.
think if I was Matt, I would make the sacrifice and be like, yeah, she comes back to full health, all good, but powerless.
she's she's a human. She's just a
She is
human.
a normal human, level 1.
Yeah,
Yep. That's it.
Me too. But man, that just
No
doesn't
ability.
happen here. You
I
know,
know.
I mean, Laudna came back from death. You know how I
Yeah,
feel about that.
I know.
You know,
I think that mom doesn't come back. I think mom comes back alive and
I'm glad
powerless
she's
and
alive, but I think her feet should be gone because she
okay.
saw those things crumbling away. It's like, yeah, mom doesn't have feet anymore. It's like, yeah, but she's
Okay.
still alive. I mean,
Okay.
call me macabre or whatever, but Matthew said it, so let's have some agency's not the right word. Let's have some consequence. You know,
Consequences. Yeah. Yeah,
like
sure.
I want to see some real consequences. Like death should be
And
real. All this shit should be real.
it doesn't that but that's this minutia doesn't really matter because this is a world of magic. So
Of
anybody can
course,
like uh who even they don't have a cleric in this group. They could find Jester, they could find Caduceus and be like, "Bzz, there
Jester, really?
your feet are
Okay,
back." Yeah. Well, any cleric, all clerics have access to every spell. They just
right.
have to learn them in the morning.
Back in the first campaign, they brought Vax's foot back. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like it just took
It,
time.
yep. Just takes time. They grew
Yeah, it's like,
Percy's
hey,
arm
make another
back, I
roll.
think, as
Yeah,
well.
make another roll.
From
Oh, that's
from
right. He lost an
lava,
arm.
his arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had this little weird little baby arm for a while. They were joking about it when they were crawling up through the Titan.
And then fucking Deadpool had a little nod to Critical Role. That's how I see it, where he got his little
Okay.
baby arms and his baby legs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
it was, I think, in the first movie.
Mm.
But I also, you and I have talked about. I don't know if it was on cast or not, but how I was upset with the fact that Vax got disintegrated, and they say there's nothing to bring back. It's powder.
Yep.
You can't do shit. But he already had the deal with the
Yep.
what are we calling her?
The
Matron
matron.
of
Just call it
Ravens. But back then it was Raven Queen,
the Raven
right?
Queen. Just call it the matron. Yeah.
And they brought him back, but he had the weird thing about the heart. I'm just like, that's just a little bit too easy, man. That's just like a little
Mm.
bit too much power. I like things to have strong consequences, and
Okay.
I'll die
That's
on
fine.
that hill.
That's
But
fine. That's
you
fine.
know, I
No, man,
want
I genuinely don't care about things like that. So so whatever. It doesn't matter to me either way if that's true or doesn't. It doesn't take anything away from anything.
right.
In my opinion, I was like, okay, whatever.
I guess
It's carry on with the story.
to some effect, like I grew up on Final Fantasy VI, where it's like, oh, you're turn based, and like, oh, this thing is called Sever Head, but your head doesn't fall off. You just do a
Right.
symbolic amount of damage, and then
Ah,
you can heal that person. So,
sure,
okay.
sure.
So I do have
I think
a bit of
I think on
leeway
that
for it.
on that turn on that yes and for you for what the consequences and things. I'm gonna do another timestamp thing
Up.
at 4 hours 34 minutes exactly.
Love the timestamp.
Laudna, this is a carryover from my comment earlier about how well they were playing.
Hmm.
Laudna played this final, how do you want to do this, amazingly because she did the void puppet perfectly,
Is that the
which
one with the?
did
No, wait. No, sorry, that was earlier. Sorry, go ahead.
she did the void puppet where it was the guy's friend that just suddenly comes out of the wall and screams, gives
Yeah.
disadvantage. Then she does the disintegrate for 83 points of damage, and that knocks down the shield, which then and that's already the force cage. Dorian does the force cage, and that
Which
he's not able to,
finally worked.
which finally works only because Ludinus couldn't counterspell because he already used his reaction. And then Imogen goes and gets mom and brings it all back, and that's
Mom
the
got
end of
popped
the episode.
out. Yep.
These click 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 was like watching. It wasn't amazing. It was just watching a very very functional, capable D&D party do the thing they're supposed to do at level 15.
A
It was good.
well-oiled thing. Yeah.
Well-oiled machine. Yeah,
15
it was
or
like
16?
I'm doing this, so you do that, which will create that, which then allow it to do that.
Yeah.
It was a good little Rube Goldberg machine-esque sort of a thing.
I feel like I should watch it again because I was like,
Mm.
man, like it wasn't that I wasn't losing interest. I was just like, yeah, that makes sense. This all makes
Yeah.
sense. Like everything was
Right.
going like
Right,
fantastically.
which hasn't happened in campaign 3 at all.
Yeah.
That was what was kind of remarkable to me. I'm like, right. They've had practice playing level 20 characters, and now they're bringing that gameplay into this final battle. There was a moment I actually wrote it down at about 4 hours or so where I was like, this is not going well. This again was a moment I'm like, is this gonna fail? They're not doing well. They're getting beat up a little bit here, and they're not destroying. They might 3 rounds might come around. And I wasn't sure for a minute, but then click, 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 and then, you know, clickety click, barber trick, they're all good.
Yeah. At one point, I told my girlfriend, was like, they have 12 seconds to save her mom. She
Yeah.
was like, 12 seconds? I'm like, it's like an hour or something.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
4.2 hours or whatever.
Look,
said.
2.5 hours wasn't 3 rounds. So,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, so not to
I think
rollies,
that's all
but-
I've got. That's all I got. That's it. That's it. That's literally my whole page.
All right, well then, no rollies for this, but okay, so the episode ends,
Mhm.
and it seems like the entire cast, except for Matthew, was like, "No, let's have this conversation now."
Yeah.
They have to wait unless they, for some reason, already recorded
No.
this next. I don't think so either.
No.
We all have
they
to
would,
wait for this conversation because he's
Yes.
locked in this thing, and
for an hour.
just an hour.
He can, but here's the thing: he can every round he can make a charisma save.
He has 10
to-
saves. Potential, right? Because it's an hour, 6 seconds per round.
Yeah, that's way more than 10.
Right. I'm thinking minutes.
Yeah, it's way more. So
Throw me
he
some
could potentially.
calculus. I got your back.
Yep.
Give me
Yeah,
that quick shit.
I'm like, you do math
upfront.
better than that, Tim. What are you doing?
No, I really don't.
So like I think he can make charisma saves and then just cast teleport, and he's gone. He's out.
Right.
And
But he
presumably
can't teleport
he's
out of
a
the thing.
700-year-old archmage. I'm sure he's got other stuff, but he doesn't need it. He even
Would he
one of the
leave?
comments that he made was they're like, you're gonna die, and he even said, he was like, yeah, I know, but not before I accomplish. So he's already given up. He knows he's going to die. And he doesn't care. So he's got contingencies on contingencies. He's got everything set up. Matt knows that any one of these, like Vox Machina or Mighty Nine or Bell's House, could take him out. Doesn't matter. So he knows that. Ludinus as an NPC knows that. So there's things that he's set up that doesn't matter what they do here. He's probably a little bit disappointed that he didn't get to take Liliana completely, but I think he's got everything he needs, and he's already set up, and he's already done the thing that he needs to do with her to free or set up whatever the next step is with Predathos. That's my take. It doesn't matter if they're going to go and chat with him. It genuinely doesn't matter because he's already done what he needs to do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fatalistic about what's going to happen in the new year.
You want to expound?
Oh, I think he's, like I said, I just did.
Oh,
Ludinus has already done.
Right.
There was never any
It's
saving.
already in motion.
It's already in motion.
Yeah.
Bell's House, Vox Machina, Mighty Nine were never going to stop. Yeah, they were never going to stop it. Well, that's not totally true. Mighty Nine stopped Lucian, who what was he called? The
Nonagon?
Cognosa, the Nonagon, the Cognosa Ward, whatever they were. Yeah, the Nonagon. They did genuinely stop that from crashing onto Exandria.
Right.
That was the thing they did. So they genuinely did. But in this case, I don't think they're going to stop anything. I think it's already been predetermined and it's already going to happen. There was never they fucked shit up, but they didn't stop the actual end thing, which is Predathos doing a thing.
I think Matthew is the true villain here.
Oh, of course.
He's going to fuck this world up and then move on to something else in the fourth campaign.
Yeah, maybe. Very much.
You know, that's one idea. And I think you had that in campaign 2. You're like, you know what? I think Matthew's going to destroy what he built, just like Iman in the first campaign.
Just like Iman, it felt good and it felt right, and I still think it's going to happen.
It made sense, yeah. And at this point, it makes sense too to start again. It's like we know Isilra, we know Wildman, we know all the places in the whole place. Shattered Teeth, all these weird places. The what is that weird anvil in the ocean? Like we've seen everything. Yeah. If you're gonna try to make something else up, we've seen Aeor now, and like this, even the past. All those floating isles and shit.
Shattered Teeth, yeah. He did talk about the underwater cities. That's something we don't know about.
I mean, okay, there's one more half a campaign. I don't know. I think it's time to maybe move on, but that's a lot on Matthew's plate.
Sure.
He's also doing a lot of voice work at the time too.
My stomach is rumbling. I need to eat.
Okay, sounds good.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up, man. So we've got what? It's the 17th, so we got
3 weeks
3 weeks
ish. Yeah.
until we get an episode.
Yep.
So we're gonna be, gosh, we're gonna be a month off. Hey.
So we got 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 1, 11, and it's like about 20 days, 18 days, something like that. We're good
until we get an episode to watch.
Yep.
Oh, it's only a few days after that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So about 3
Yeah,
weeks. or
full 3 weeks until we're back on again.
Man, I keep dropping this mat die on the fucking 20, dude.
Cool.
I'm just sitting here rolling them in my hands like Chinese. What do you call those things?
Finger traps.
No. The ones where you roll the balls in your hand. Gay
Oh,
sex. That's what I'm talking about. All right, that was a 15. All right, well, we're not going to be here to talk about an episode because there isn't an episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. I mean, they have a narrative telephone coming up. We won't be talking about that, obviously, because it's not anything to do with canon information. But, man, when we come back in January, we're coming up on the end, dude.
Yep, 100%.
I mean, it doesn't feel like the end yet because who knows what they're going to talk about with laudness. Oh.
Luda.
But man, I don't know. I'm excited about it for sure. But damn it, we don't get to do it for a while. All right. Well, shit. If you're hungry, I'm hungry too. Girlfriend just made some soup with some eggs in it, and it smells amazing. I'm gonna get out there and have some of that too. So, geez. Follow Ben at bengreenspoon on all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me at drummatucka on, what's it called? Instagram. I don't know if Facebook's even viable anymore.
Nah.
And,
Only old people use Facebook now.
Yeah, and, click that like, click the subscribe. It really does help people that put stuff on YouTube. More than we even realized in the beginning.
Yeah.
But the more people that like it and subscribing, it really does quite a bit. So if you find the time to do that.
Just give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it.
Yeah. I got a show on New Year's here in Taiwan. We're playing that rooftop thing down by the old train station. Don't know the name of the place. I probably should, but I think they've changed it like 3 times in the last year. But maybe I'll put it in the description down there. And if nothing else, Ben, anything to promote? Anything going on over there?
Nope.
All right, cool. Then let's wrap it up. Don't forget to love each other. And is it finally next month's first Friday that we get to watch an episode?
118.
Oh yeah, for episode 118. I thought you were saying January 18th. I'm like,
no.
That's
way no. Episode 118. Yes. Right. All right, buddy. Okay. Take it easy.
Peace. Take care of each other. Love each other. Yep. All that stuff. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Peace. Where's my mouse?
Whoa.
Oh, there it is. And there.
All right, dude. I'm going to sign off now.
Critter!